Na, hello, szép napot mindenkinek! Tudom, hogy ezt már többször mondtam, de most már tényleg a játék végére fogunk érni, és aztán majd meglátjuk, hogy hogy holnap mivel fogunk játszani, de a lényeg, hogy ma ennek a játéknak a végére érünk. A gond az, hogy tegnap ugye, ahogy abba hagytuk, nem értünk a videó teljes végére, ezért ma előről fog kezdődni az egész, tehát az első 3-4 perc az erről fog szólni.
In your classic noir films and novels,
Mindegy, de a lényeg az, hogy megnézzük és aztán folytatjuk a játékot. 11 nap a bunyóig, ugye ezt már tegnap láttuk.
Before he took the case, the world was a better place. That he was a better person.
Ezt nem tudom miért csinálja, hogy nem mentél a videó után, de hát ez van. Kicsit idegesítő, megmondom őszintén.
I told Stone what I knew. That he was going to let Yale win. That if he didn't, O'Leary would destroy Helen Moore's career. And that Moore was doomed either way. Or would be, as soon as America discovered her sweetheart was on drugs.
I don't believe you. No way. Who sent you?
Today? Nobody.
And what if I did believe you? What would that change? If I don't do this for her, how could I ever look her in the eyes? How could we stay together?
You think you'll stay together when you lose your title and they accuse her of doping?
At least I know I tried.
Na itt most tegnap mit választottam? Vajon?
O'Leary's world is long gone. Now TV rules the roost. Sporting scandals and rigged fights can only reduce their credibility, not to mention their ratings. If you take a dive and word gets out, you lose much more than just a fight.
Is it all about being professional to you?
Ahogy itt becsületességre
Suit yourself.
próbálom rávenni a csávót.
But trust me, your manager is a murderer. Get as far away from him as possible.
Igen, azt hiszem tegnap is ezt választottam.
Hey, Blacksad! I'll think about it.
És most megint egy videó, aztán megint egy videó.
Yale confirmed to me that Dunn found out that Mitchell was giving him meds. That was the reason they argued the evening of his death.
In fact, I was clean at the time. Hadn't used for days. I didn't want to go down that road. I wanted to follow Joe.
But he discovered everything.
He didn't believe me when I said I had nothing to do with it.
But you used again.
Only after his death. I needed to cope.
But the drugs gave you a panic attack.
Yeah. But I've been clean ever since.
Mitchell gave you the pills when he stopped by the hospital. Hence, your miraculous recovery. Are you planning on taking them before the fight? Well, what do I care? But they'll be your last pills. Then what?
Ja, fasz, hogy nem választottam semmit. Na mindegy. Éppen itt rá kellett néznem a laptopra.
Stone and Yale hadn't taken away the bitterness I felt. I needed a friend. He was outraged that I hadn't given him the tip, but he let it go as soon as I bought him a milkshake. After the perfect storm of corruption and murder, only friendship could reconcile me with the world. Only that could make me believe in mankind again. Only that could cleanse my soul. Only that. And money.
Igen, itt hagytuk abba tegnap. Belépünk az irodába és
In your
leülünk.
standard noir novel, Yale and Stone would be punished for breaking the rules. There would be justice for Sonia, the victim. But this was the real world. As the detective who had cracked the case, I just had to get my paycheck and be on my way.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Blacksad. Mr. Thorpe is on his way. Care to take a seat while you wait?
Jó.
I guess I'll just have to wait.
He'll be here in a minute. Please, take a seat.
Ó, hát mennyit lehet itt megnézni? Ó, hogy ez is fontos. Nem ezek közül vagy vannak itt fel tüntetve emberek, de...
That's not possible. But what if Tim Thorpe was somehow involved in Mitchell's operation?
Mr. Blacksad, Mr. Thorpe is running later than expected, but he insists on meeting you, if you don't mind.
Sure. As long as you help me fight off this boredom.
That's not in my job description, but...
If I had her markings on my skin, would I be the same person? Would my name be different?
Hmm. Most Szonyával van ez a csávó? Ja, az most igazából nem lényeges. Ja, lehetséges, hogy ez nem lényeg, de a többi az viszont igen. Na és ide vajon mi kellhet?
If my hunch is right, there should be a meeting with Mitchell noted somewhere in Thorpe's agenda. How long long have you worked for Tim Thorpe?
Almost 3 years. And I hope it lasts.
Well, you see, I've got a problem. In order to figure out how much Mr. Thorpe owes me, I need to know what day I started working on the case. But I can't remember. You wouldn't have that written down, would you?
It sure wasn't on my shift. I'd remember. Let me see.
De aranyos, csak akkor lapozik, amikor már megnéztem. Persze ez nem véletlen van így.
What? Dunn was here 2 days before he died? Why didn't Thorpe ever mention that?
I'm sorry, but your name's not on here.
Has anything odd happened at the agency lately?
Not on my shift. Perhaps the oddest thing I've seen is a bored detective asking a lot of questions.
Wait, I just remembered something. The day I came, Joe Dunn had just walked out the door.
Well, no. You don't have any appointments. Although, I guess I could have forgotten to write you in. Mr. Dunn, who's usually very kind, left in a flurry. He even slammed Mr. Thorpe's door.
Okay. Now I know I have to get into Thorpe's office.
And he didn't even say goodbye.
Yes, that was the day. You don't recall me because the minute I saw Dunn stomp out, I followed him. I never actually came in.
Of course. That explains it.
No doubt. So, since it looks like Mr. Thorpe won't be here soon, I think I'll go take a walk down the hall. Gotta stay in shape. Come on, Thorpe. Tell me there's a back door to your office.
Na nézzük. Be tudunk-e törni az irodába? Hát erre nem. Tudnánk telefonálni a kutyának.
If Weekly were here, I'd have to tie his hands behind his back. So, you had something to do with that chest expander after all.
Ez az iroda vajon? Aha, itt lesz. Nem tartott sokáig feltörni.
One of the strengths, the accuracy of his throw. I earned the nickname Iron Arm. I used to throw the ball in 50 and yeah, wherever it wanted. And my coach, the great Joffrey Sachs. And so I worked hard. Pearl Harbor. I enlisted immediately. After losing a partner in combat, a serious injury, I asked to be relocated. I became a sniper. I know I shouldn't say this, but I was one of the best in the army, and it was all thanks to my accuracy. No, it was all thanks to Jeffrey Sachs. I wonder how many Americans that man saved with my arm. After these words, Tim Thorpe is moved almost to tears and asks me to take a break. It's shocking to see how an athlete and soldier, a man whose aim and skill won him a Medal of Honor and the nickname Surgeon among his brothers in arms. That can't be. I mean, it could be a coincidence, but no.
Aha, lehet, hogy ez a csávó.
Why am I surprised? In every investigation, there comes a point where every single lead seems to go down the drain. And you have to retrace your steps to get back on the right track. It's a bit strange to see no office chair behind a desk until you remember the desk's owner is in a wheelchair.
Lehet, hogy azt is csak játsza, hogy nem tud járni. Mert ezek szerint akkor ez lehet a gyilkos, vagy legalábbis valami felbújtó.
Oh, crap. Of course. I better not use it. It might be connected to the switchboard at the front desk. That leads to the front desk.
Ja, jó. Össze kéne kapcsolnunk, hogy amiket most találtunk.
What if Groon's drugs helped Thorpe walk?
Na, menj már oda. Jaj, nem már. Ja, hát itt van. Jó, nem láttam az
Of
alsó.
course. It wasn't Mitchell or Gill. It was Thorpe who shot Randall at the hospital. That's it. Thorpe is the man behind the whole drug operation. Everything adds up now. And yet I can already hear Smirnov telling me I have no conclusive evidence. What if I set a trap for Thorpe? But how?
Na és... Hogy csalom csapdába? Jaj már. Ez most miért nem illik össze? Vagy kell még találnom valamit? Na ez az.
Ha! What if I place Thorpe's gun up there and corner him so that he has to stand up to get it? The show was about to begin. All I needed was an audience and some patience.
Stop it!
Arr! Don't you know who you're dealing with, matey?
What a silly man.
Mutiny! You wants to be shark bait, do ya? Oh, Blacksad. I feel terrible for keeping you waiting.
John,
But you see, there was mutiny on board, so...
stop.
You see what I have to put up with. All right, helmswoman, to the cabin with you! Onward!
Aye, aye, Captain.
Come along, Blacksad. Julie, don't let anyone bother us. Honey, will you wait in the boardroom for me, please?
But,
I'll just be a minute then. I think you've already suffered enough.
okay.
And think about where you'd like to have dinner tonight, okay? You see, I'm not gonna pay you for solving the case.
Fair enough. The truth is, I didn't solve it.
No, it's not that. You'll get every penny we agreed on, and more. But not because you solved the case, but for her. 2 days ago, she wanted to end it all. Drop out of college, sell the gym. Too many wounds to heal. But through your incredible work, you managed to heal them. Well, perhaps not completely. It takes time to get over something like this. But at least, thanks to you, Sonia wants to be happy. She has hope. I'm gonna help her make Dunn's gym the best in the city. Who would have ever guessed it, huh?
I'm happy for her. She's been through a lot, and honestly, I wasn't sure she'd make it.
Well, she hasn't just yet. But she will in time. Anyway, back to the case. All those people you confronted. Gil, the German doctor, even Mitchell. Huh. I would have never suspected him. Did they say anything? Why did they do it? Did they mention any accomplices?
They did mention a certain surgeon.
Surgeon? You have any idea who that could be?
I'm sure this comes as no surprise, but it was Angus Mitchell himself. In fact, you gave me the lead by telling me he was a doctor.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I'm glad I could help. Although, you see, besides my esteem for Joe and Sonia, this ordeal really hits close to home.
I don't follow. How do you mean?
Sports are my livelihood. Do you know how many of the athletes involved have a deal with me?
How do you know that?
What?
Oh, wait. Sonia told you.
Yes, that's it. Sonia told me.
That's funny. I never told Sonia.
Well then, do you know how many of the athletes involved have a deal with me?
I think I have a slight idea.
So far, the papers only talk about bodies down at the docks and an illegal lab. Not one has mentioned the athletes. But if one word gets out, this agency's future could be on the line. Not to mention Sonia's and the gym's. Could I ask you to be discreet?
I'm sorry to say your future is already on the line.
What do you mean?
Na basszus.
I know the press. Sooner or later, someone will talk.
I guess you're right. But let's do everything in our power to avoid that. Anyway, that's it. Julie has your check. Don't forget to claim it. Thank you again,
Micsoda?
Blacksad.
Ez
I don't know what state Sonia would be in if it weren't for you.
I had to act, then and there, or let Thorpe get away with it.
Excuse me for not standing.
No, I won't excuse you. I know you could stand if you wanted to.
Na azért azt hittem nem ad úgy lehetőséget a játék.
I'm sure you've got good intentions, but you're wrong. What makes you think that? I'm sure there's an explanation.
I know you ordered Randall Lee to kill Joe Dunn, and you tried to frame Bobby Yale, who had recently given up your medical services.
Joe was my friend. Don't you get it?
According to Spano, the mastermind was a certain surgeon. I thought it was Mitchell, but now I know the truth. A journalist told me. Ring a bell?
I hired you to solve this damn case. You think that's what a murderer would do?
Only because you thought I'd blame Bobby Yale and drop the case. But as soon as I realized something wasn't right, you sent Randall Lee and Gil to give me a scare. And when all that failed, you ordered Lee to kill me.
You're the type that won't open his jaws once he's got his prey, aren't you?
You're right. I never let go of my prey.
Put yourself in my place for a minute. You're a promising football player who just got back from the war, but you're still a nobody. The man you saved kindly opens his house to you, and that man is still undone by his wife's passing. He works all day at his gym, and he drinks himself to sleep at night. So you practically end up raising his daughter. You give her her very first abacus. You encourage her to further her education. You comfort her when she misses her mother and her father. Meanwhile, your sporting career takes off. Life is good. Until one day, out of the blue, an accident cripples you. An old friend, Mitchell, tells you he knows someone who can help you. A German doctor. His drugs take some time to work, but they do wonders. You manage to walk for short bursts at a time, little by little. And those bursts keep getting longer. But the drugs aren't cheap at all. So you have to find a way to pay for them, don't you see?
So you started by selling drugs to athletes. Then you decided to start an advertising agency to hire those same athletes. Drugs would help them excel, and you'd get better ad deals. The perfect business model. Your first client? Craig Spano. His career had hit a rough patch, so... He was the guinea pig for your new operation. And yet, when the drug started having serious side effects, you got rid of him. Afraid he would talk, you tried to kill him. That's why he hid. From then on, your business was smooth sailing. You even began to think you were above the law. You thought that you were untouchable. Until Joe Dunn found out, and then, 2 days before his unfortunate death, he came to see you.
That's enough now. You stop it. Now, I don't know if I'm above the law, but I am sure as hell not beneath it. Do you know how much power I have? The kind of people I eat with every day? I could shoot you right now, and nothing would happen to me.
With that gun you keep in your drawer? I'm afraid not. I placed your pistol out of reach, just in case you happen to confirm my suspicions, Iron Arm. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have an appointment with the police.
I won't let anyone wreck my life again. Sonia and I, we deserve a future.
You can come in now, Smirnoff.
Timothy Wilson Thorpe, drop your weapon. You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the state will provide one for you. Mr. Thorne.
Na. Csaj csak kinyírta.
Sonia Dunn, you are under arrest for the death of Timothy Wilson Thornton. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney.
Nem,
If
nem
you
ezt
cannot
akartam.
afford one, the state
Ó,
will
bazd
provide one
meg.
for you. Do you understand these rights as I have just read them to you? With these rights in mind, do you wish to speak to me? Watch your step.
After everything that had happened, the last thing I was interested in was the fight. Did Yale take drugs before the fight? Did Stone let him win? I had done everything in my power for things to go the way my moral compass dictated. Whether anyone would listen to me, that was another story. Because no matter what they tell us, our actions don't always determine our future. My moral compass. As if I even knew what that means. I didn't even know what to think of my performance throughout the case. Did I have a clear conscience? Would I have made the same decisions, given the chance?
Hát nem tudom. Megmondom őszintén, biztos vannak más döntések, amit megváltoztatnék. És biztos vannak olyan döntések, amit másra változtatnék. Na hát akkor ennyi volt a Blacksad Under the Skin. Megmondom őszintén, tetszett a játéknak a története, van benne jó pár dolog, ami viszont annyira nem jó szerintem. Meg van pár dolog benne, amiben ugye balfasz voltam, és csak ez volt a gond. Egyébként az ilyen space-es, quick time eventes cucc az például nem annyira tetszett, hiszen elég sokszor volt és elég felesleges volt. Voltak olyan választások, amik szintén feleslegesek voltak, hiszen gyakorlatilag mondjuk 4 darab volt, és abból 3 ugyanoda vezetett, és csak a negyedikkel lehetett tovább menni. Szóval vannak hibái a játéknak, akinek esetleg van kedve, az nyugodtan játsza végig, hogyha egy ilyen kis lassúbb, nem túl akciódús játékkal szeretne játszani. Ja, szóval teljesen elmegy. Viszont én most egy kicsit hanyagolom ezt a noir vonalat. Vissza fogom még térni egy másik játékkal is, biztos, az elkövetkezendő időszakban, de hogy valami kis akciódúsabb dologra gondoltam, így holnap majd azzal fogjuk folytatni, és azt fogjuk elkezdeni. Még nem tudom, mi lesz az, de majd kigondolom még. Úgyhogy köszi mindenkinek, aki esetleg majd végignézi ezt a videót, és hát iratkozzatok fel, ha van kedvetek, YouTube-ra is, ide is, és hát majd találkozunk holnap ugyanebben az időpontban. Sziasztok!